Hi guys, my name is Sophia, and I live in New York. Growing up, my dad was my only family because my mom died soon after I turned 1. My first birthday was the only birthday I celebrated with my mom. Dad told me that my mom was the nicest and kindest person ever and loved her so much that he decided he would never marry again and raise me alone. I was cool with Dad's decision because he was taking great care of me. But as I grew up, things started changing a bit. I was 6 years old, and it was my first day in school when a girl came up to me and laughed out loud.
You look so funny. What happened to your hair? Doesn't your mom know how to make a ponytail?
Stop laughing! I don't have a mom, and my dad doesn't know how to style my hair.
Then get a mom, or you'll always look like a weirdo.
I came back to Dad fuming that day. Dad, I need a mom. How soon can you get me one?
Honey, you can't ask for a mom like you place an online order.
I don't know. I want someone who can braid my hair. I look so messy.
We don't need a mom to fix that. Come, I'll get you a good haircut.
And just like that, my dad took me to a salon and got me a really short bob cut. That solved my hair problem, but created another problem. Now, everybody in the school was calling me a tomboy and making fun of me. I decided never to grow my hair again. So after a few months, I was going for the same haircut, but my dad stopped me. Surprisingly, he had brought some really expensive hairstyling products and he showed them like an excited kid.
See, darling, I've got this hair gel, brush, and a straightener. Also, I've seen and learned through some YouTube tutorials. Now, I can braid your hair.
I saw him putting so much effort to make up for his last mistake, so I eventually let him style my hair. I was not expecting anything great from him, but he actually amazed me. He did my hair better than any mom could do in this world. Looking at my perfectly braided hair in the mirror, I got happy tears. I realized how adorable my dad was and how stupid I was to overreact. He was right. I didn't need a new mom to fix my life. Dad and I were enough for each other. Time passed by and I turned 13. The bond between Dad and I grew stronger. He became my best friend. I shared everything with him and thought he also did the same. But suddenly one day, he just dropped a bomb on me. He sat me down and showed me a photo of a woman.
Darling, I want you to meet someone. She is very special to me, and I want to marry her.
What? Now you want to get married? Why didn't you do it when I was young and begged you for a mom? When and where did you meet her?
I met her at a charity event. She is really nice and kind, just like your mom.
Just like my mom? How could he compare that woman to my mom? My mom was special, and this woman could never be like her. I wanted to prove this to my dad, so I agreed to meet her. Next day, Dad made a lunch reservation at a fine dining place and took me to meet the new love of his life. I was annoyed and I couldn't wait to reject her. But the moment we walked into the restaurant, I was shocked to see that my dad was not only planning to get me a stepmom, but also a stepsister. That woman had a daughter from her previous marriage who was almost around my age.
Sophia, meet Scarlett and her daughter, Claudia. Please smile and say hello to them.
I greeted them with a fake smile and quietly sat down. Even though Scarlett was nice to me, I didn't feel like talking to her. However, I was in awe of Claudia. She was so cute and funny. I almost laughed when she drew a smiley face with the ketchup on her plate. I knew I was doing okay without a mom, but somewhere I really felt lonely and missed having a sibling. Now God was giving me an opportunity to have one. I didn't want to miss it. It's okay, Dad, if you want to get married to Scarlett. I won't be upset. I might never accept her as my mom, but I'll be fine knowing that you are happy with her. I love you, and I won't come in the way of your happiness. Dad hugged me and uttered with a lump in his throat,
You are the best daughter ever. I wouldn't have done it if you hadn't said yes.
Within a month, Dad and Scarlett got married, and she came to live with us, along with Claudia. I thought we'd be a happy family of 4 now, but then something unexpected happened. It was my stepmom's first morning in our house, and she excitedly made pancakes for all of us. They were so yum that I kept eating them until my stomach started hurting. And suddenly, by the afternoon, I got severe loose motions. My condition became so bad that I turned pale because of weakness and cramps. For the next 3 days, my stepmom cared for me like I was her own daughter. She didn't leave my side even for a second and gave me everything from food and medicine on time. I was completely surprised. I didn't know a stepmom could be so loving. I gradually started warming up to her, but then one day, all my high thoughts came crashing down. It was a Saturday night, and I was watching a Harry Potter movie with Claudia when she suddenly paused the screen and looked towards me.
Remember when you got those Lucy's last week?
Of course, I did overeating and then paid for it.
No, you were wrong. You paid for my mother's sins. She tried to poison you.
Are you crazy or what? Why would you say something so mean about your own mom?
Because I know her better than anybody else. My mom is a gold digger. She married your dad for money. Just wait and watch. She'll destroy you.
Since that night, I started questioning myself and doubting my stepmom. Is she really evil? Did she actually try to kill me? Why would Claudia lie about her mom? I must find out the truth before I blindly trust my stepmom. I became extra cautious of my stepmom's actions, and one day I noticed that she secretly took out my dad's credit card and hid it in her purse. I couldn't control myself and went ahead to confront her. I saw you stealing something. You can't lie now.
I was not stealing anything, Sophia. I took out your dad's credit card because he's been spending so much lately and I don't want him to waste money.
I knew she was lying, but since I acted in haste, I couldn't gather any evidence to prove her evil intentions. I should have waited and let her misuse that credit card. Anyway, I decided to keep a secret eye on her and catch her red-handed next time. Days passed by, but after that incident, nothing unusual happened. However, I felt I had to dig out the truth, so I came up with a plan. My stepmom was probably acting nice in front of us, so the only way I could expose her was if I could disappear from the house. I was sure that in my absence, my stepmom would eventually show her true colors. Soon it was my 14th birthday, and there was a grand party organized for me at my house. All were waiting for me to come and cut the cake, but they got the shock of their lives when they read a note left by me. Dad, I'm never coming back. I wish you a happy life with your new wife and daughter. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. After reading this note, more than my dad, my stepmom started panicking.
Oh my God! Where did Sophia disappear? We should immediately go and report it to the cops.
I could see my stepmom's fake tears as she pretended to cry and care for me. Even though I was not present in the house, I was aware of everything happening there. Before disappearing, I had installed hidden spy cameras in every room of my house. I was tracking my family 24/7, and they were clueless. While they were searching for me in every nook and corner of the city, I was chilling and keeping tabs on them from my dad's old farmhouse. It was in the countryside, and we never went there, so I was safe. My family kept searching for me in the most expected places, like my friends' houses, and just wasted their time. Finally, the awaited moment came. I saw through my spy camera that around 10 in the night, somebody tiptoed into my room. It was time to catch my stepmom red-handed, but I was shell-shocked when I saw it was not her, but Claudia in my room. I was awestruck as I saw Claudia slowly open my cupboard and take out my most cherished piece of jewelry. It was my mom's beautiful pearl necklace. Claudia was about to wear it, but just then, her mom barged in.
Put it back, Claudia. You can't touch Sophia's belongings without her permission. She'll be very angry if she sees this.
Come on, Mom. Sophia is never coming back. For all you know, she might be dead.
Shut up, Claudia. Don't you dare talk like this about your sister. Go back to your room.
Claudia made a face and walked out. My stepmom carefully put that necklace back in my cupboard and left. I couldn't help but wonder, why is my stepmom still pretending? I'm not even there. I kept thinking about this incident and finally came to a conclusion that my stepmom probably knew about my spy cameras. There was no other reason for her to pretend now. My plan seemed to have failed, and I was feeling upset. But just then, something drastic happened, which frightened me to the core. Once again, I saw some movement in my room through my spy camera. Before I could understand what was happening, I suddenly spotted flames of fire in my room. Someone was trying to burn my belongings, and she turned out to be no one else but my stepsister Claudia. Again! As the fire started spreading, Claudia ran away from the house. My dad and stepmom were peacefully sleeping in their room while the whole house was on fire. I panicked and tried to call them, but they didn't pick up, so I quickly called 911. A firefighting team was immediately sent to my house. Meanwhile, I took a cab and rushed home. I knocked on the door and my dad came running.
Sophia, my baby, we're looking for you everywhere and...
Later, Dad, I'll tell you everything. Let's handle the fire first. The firefighting team had already arrived and started the rescue operation. My entire room got burnt, but we somehow managed to save the rest of the house. Finally, when the situation cooled down a bit and I told my parents the truth, they couldn't believe that all this happened because of Claudia. I was particularly furious with her and feeling devastated because she not only burnt my belongings, but also my most prized possession, the photo album of my first birthday, which was the only memory of my mom and me together. Now, I've lost it forever. I was crying uncontrollably when my stepmom placed a covered portrait in front of me. My sadness instantly turned into happiness when I unveiled the portrait. It was the most beautiful photograph of my mom and me from that old photo album. My stepmom had enlarged and developed it as my birthday gift. I couldn't thank her enough for this sweetest gesture. I teared up and hugged her. All my bitterness melted away. Eventually, we found out that Claudia did all this because she felt jealous and neglected seeing her mom taking care of me. She lied about her mom so that she could create differences between us. She finally came back home and apologized to everyone. Claudia was also diagnosed with severe anger issues, so we took her to therapy, and within a few months, she started getting better. We did face some problems initially, but ultimately, we stood by each other, and now we are the happiest family ever.